in high definition.
Hey, and welcome into your Ozarks local news for this Wednesday. I'm Aaron Nolan.
And I'm Melanie Chapman. Tonight we bring you your 9 at 9. These are the top 9 stories you need to know before you go to bed. And today, no doubt, number one story is that heat, Jamie.
Yeah, it was another hot one today. It took a little while, though. You know, we had that morning rain. A lot of folks around here have been talking about the thunder they heard early this morning. Well, the clouds from those storms lingered pretty late into the day. Once the clouds cleared, though, temperatures took off. And we saw as hot a day today as we saw yesterday. Let's take a look at the trends here over the last 12 hours. Basically, we started off at 9 o'clock this morning and run it all the way through 8 o'clock this evening. And you can see temperature stayed actually pretty comfortable all the way through lunchtime. But it was between noon and 1 that the clouds cleared out of Springfield, and with the sunshine returning, so did the intense heat. We were up to 91 by 1 o'clock, and actually up to 84 by 1 o'clock, 89 by 2 o'clock, and into the 90s for 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 o'clock this evening. And we also had quite a bit of moisture out there, a very muggy afternoon and evening, and that generated heat index values, what it actually felt like, up around the century mark, if not a little bit greater than that. But we do have relief on the way. In fact, I can actually show you that on radar. It's not in the form of thunderstorms moving through the area. It's actually a green line that you can see dropping out of Greene County south into Christian County. That is the cold front. Sometimes radar is able to pick that up when the winds are converging enough to push some of the particles in the atmosphere together near the surface, like dust and bugs and things like that, and you actually see that boundary, and that's what we're looking at right there. The front is through Springfield. It will be through Nixa and Ozark over the next 5-10 minutes, and it will continue to drop south into northern Arkansas as we work through the night tonight. Now, the storms down in Arkansas today, those have been a result of the outflow boundary left behind from this morning's thunderstorms, and we have seen some intense thunderstorm activity down across parts of northern Arkansas. This is what we have left. Basically, areas south of Fayetteville still under the gun for severe weather. We've got this cluster of severe storms been producing hail and high winds. That will continue to drop on off toward the south. The rest of the area looks pretty quiet, and with the exception of maybe something isolated trying to develop on the front as it drops south into northern Arkansas, I think we're in for a quiet rest of the night. Now, tomorrow looks good. Humidity will gradually decrease throughout the day. Temperatures won't be as hot either. It looks like highs in the upper 80s, and this is the weather we can expect into the weekend.
All right, Jamie, thank you so much. New information tonight about a hit and run we first reported over the weekend. The victim's boyfriend wants you to know just how bad those injuries are.
46-year-old Michelle Krauser got out of her car to check on a tire at Sunshine near National early Sunday morning when she was hit. Our Lindsey Klein has the latest.
They ain't for sure if she'll ever be able to walk.
Todd Reedy wants answers.
He just kept going. He didn't stop or nothing.
After a night out, Todd and his girlfriend Michelle were driving on Sunshine around 3 a.m. Sunday when
We thought we was having a flat. We pulled over as far as we could.
That's when Michelle got out of the car to check.
We didn't see no cars nowhere.
Then things happened quickly.
Before she got very far from the car, a car came by and hit her. It was all such a big shock, you know.
He wasn't able to get a description of the car or a license plate number, but he believes whoever hit her was traveling above the speed limit.
I'd say he was at least going 60.
These marks in the road show the aftermath of the accident that happened early Sunday morning just driveways away from the National Sunshine intersection.
I don't think they realized that they actually hit somebody.
Reedy wants to find the person responsible.
I'd like for them to get caught. So, you know, they could at least realize, you know, that they did actually hit a person.
Springfield police believe the hit came from a smaller car.
It's been assigned to a leaving the scene of a crash investigator, and they are looking over the evidence that was left at the scene.
Reedy hopes someone will come forward and that his girlfriend
She's gonna pull through.
will heal quickly.
It's been emotional, real emotional, you know. She was such an outgoing person, you know, and now all she does is, you know, lay there.
Lindsey Klein, thank you. Michelle has multiple broken ribs, injuries to her legs, including shattered bones.
Springfield Police would like anyone with information on this case to give them a call. The numbers are there on your screen. A Kansas City man is on the run tonight. He's charged in connection with a shooting near Glendale High School Friday evening. Prosecutors say 26-year-old Tyrone Hickman Jr. opened fire on East Sunset shortly before 7:30. Tanish Fuel was shot several times and has life-threatening injuries. Investigators say he was arguing with some men in his living room when one of the suspects took him upstairs and fired 4 shots before running off. Hickman is charged with assault, armed criminal action, and attempted robbery. A warrant has been issued for his arrest with a bond set at $200,000.
Help is on the way for more than 300 Regal Beloit employees who will be without jobs when that plant closes. The Missouri Career Center and Ozarks Technical Community College both say they're ready to assist those workers. OTC will offer free adult education classes to help those that need a GED.
But they could go into general education to go for a 4-year degree. They could go into an allied health program. They could go into one of many technical programs.
This is a growing economy. Our manufacturing continues to grow. Just since January of this year, we've added 3,000 new jobs in Springfield.
The Career Center and OTC plan to go to the plant in the next months to help those employees going through this transition. We'll add more information about the resources of the Missouri Career Center and OTC on this story on our website, ozarksfirst.com. Poverty in Springfield is on the rise. In fact, a new study showing the youth poverty rate has doubled in a decade.
And the distribution of poverty in the city is much more spread out. It's a national trend happening here in the Ozarks. Laura Kennedy has more on this story.
A new interactive map that's been making the social media rounds shows a very disturbing trend. Poverty in cities across the U.S. is no longer focused in the centers of those cities, and the more people who need assistance means increased pressure on the nonprofits set up to help.
Amanda Hayden and her kids are enjoying the first summer spent in their new home. Enjoying popsicles and talking about where Avery and Johnny want to go to college.
Missouri.
A future she says looks possible thanks to Habitat for Humanity.
I am so grateful that they chose me.
Hayden's family is just one of thousands in Springfield needing assistance affording housing.
Poverty comes from all over. It's a big crisis, I think.
The number of those in poverty has jumped greatly in the last 30 years and become more spread out across the community.
And there's a new mapping tool that shows those trends visually. If you follow me here, you can select Springfield, Missouri, and you can see the data distribution in 1980, and then move the scroll and see 2010. The data points are much more spread out over the whole area.
A trend experts say is clear. Nancy Williams is the Director of Family Services for Springfield's Habitat for Humanity.
There's no boundaries. We have applications from all over town and all over Greene County.
She says family mobility can negatively impact children's success in school and perpetuate the issue of poverty in Springfield.
Our goal is to reduce generational poverty by getting them into a more stable housing situation.
You know, I did this because of my kids.
She hopes having a stable home will set them up for a brighter future.
There's no place like home, and this is a place that my kids can call home.
I spoke with leaders of several local assistance organizations today, and they all say that they're experiencing an increased demand for their programs, not just in Springfield, but in entire Greene County. If you would like to view that interactive map I showed you in the story, click on the link on this story on ozarksfirst.com.
All right, Laura, thank you. New tonight at 9, 2,500 needy children will head back to class with confidence, thanks to some very generous donations. Victory Mission is busy preparing for its 24th annual Back to School drive. The ministry will take clothing donations at Springfield Kmart's on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's asking for things that would fit a kindergartner all the way up to a senior in high school.
We can't outfit everybody in Tommy Hilfiger. We can provide clothing that is gently used. Kids grow out of their clothing most of the time before it's worn out anyhow. And it's clothing that is alike unto what other children will be wearing to school at the same time.
Tomorrow at 9, we'll introduce you to a mom who relies on this program to make sure her 3 teens have what they need to be prepared on the first day of class. In tonight's Hometown Hero story, new tools will help the state reunite military heroes and their families with medals earned in the service.
Yeah, in fact, the Show Me State has dozens of unclaimed medals. Kevin Schwaller shows us the new law that aims to bring those military honors back home.
For whatever reason in these cases, safety deposit boxes were handed over to the treasurer with the honors inside. Now this law will let the state release more information about the medals in hopes of getting them back to hometown heroes across the state.
I refueled airplanes in midair.
Jim Hanley served during Korea and Vietnam. Now he helps lay veterans to rest with the Veterans Memorial Team.
I was in the United States Air Force for 10 years.
Hanley earned his medals and his wings.
When you get one, it makes you feel that the government appreciates what you're doing for them. To me, they're a treasure.
His mom felt the same way about the honors his father earned.
My mother would never let nothing happen to my dad's medals. He was in World War II, and she kept them till the day she died. And she promised, or she made my oldest brother promise not to ever get rid of them.
If you have unclaimed property and you look it up online, you'll see dollar amounts here on the website. Now the state will list these medals here too.
This bill specifically allows us to share information to help return those 90 medals back to those individuals.
State Treasurer Clint Zweifel says before he came into office, the state would auction off the medals with unclaimed property. That stopped, and now he can release information about the medals and pictures that were protected before.
Often these medals that we find when I return them are a missing piece in that family's history that they've been able to get reconnected with.
I think it'll mean a lot to them if we can get them back to them.
Now, we didn't show you Hanley's medals because he lost his in a fire. He says his main concern, though, was making sure his family was okay. And Hanley says he wants there to be restrictions on anyone selling medals so he doesn't have to see them for purchase online or in stores.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Governor Nixon signs bills to benefit veterans and current members of the military. Nixon signed the legislation at the Missouri National Guard Armory in Springfield today. Some of the laws make it easier for troops who are deployed to vote, maintain parental rights, and get returning veterans tuition assistance and jobs through a program called Show Me Heroes.
As I speak to you today, over 4,000 returning veterans of all services coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan, and other venues and posts around the world have received jobs through Missouri companies who have pledged their support to hiring veterans because Governor Nixon led the way with that program.
Nixon said the new laws are aimed at helping veterans transition back into their careers and education.
It is a yearly look at the human form, holding nothing back. ESPN, the magazine, releasing its newest body edition. Pages and pages of pro athletes burying it all, literally, including a golfing fitness pioneer that's nearly 80.
We never had guys doing that. There were no gymnasium. Nobody was using weights. And you'll go in that gym and I think, wow, I definitely played a role in this and it makes me feel good.
This is Gary Player. Gary, a pioneer in that golfing fitness world. Gary's 77 years old, not afraid to get naked for the camera lens. According to the mag, Player has been known for being a gym rat. As for why he posed nude, he's quote on ESPN.com saying, "I want to show the world how fit you can be at this age and not just accept being old." Get this, I was reading a little bit more about Gary Player. He said he used to do 1,000 sit-ups a day.
Oh.
Now at 77, 1,200 sit-ups a day.
Incredible. Looks great. He's sharp. He's got it all going on. Obviously, this is one of those stories that leads us to our viewer interaction time. This one's getting a lot of comments out there. It is time for your voice to be heard, and every night we ask a question on our Facebook page, and we give you, the Ozarks, a chance to sound off.
So from what you've just heard and seen, is this nudity inspiring, maybe to get in shape yourself, or is it just offensive? Like the Color 10 and KOZL Facebook page, leave your comment on our Ozark Sound Off question of the night. We'll read some of those opinions a little bit later in the show.
And we always ask you to check out our social media outlets. We're always looking for ways to get our viewers involved, so please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, email us, or send us any story ideas, any comments you may have.
Come on, use me up until there's nothing left.
Coming up in tonight's trends, Mr. Timberlake back at it, getting the social world all abuzz about yet another album. And how about something from George Lucas? That's right, the president giving George Lucas a huge honor. All that and more tonight in the online headlines.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner joins us with a look at the rest of the work week and what the weekend could hold. That's next in weather. We will be right back.